Hello everyone, today let's study the layers of retina in detail with the help of this mnemonic and also by understanding this in the diagrammatic representation. Now the retinal layers can be remembered with the help of this mnemonic ING, I2, O2, P2. Now when we write retina, RETINA. Now the mnemonic can be remembered as I, N, and instead of A, we'll remember it as G. Okay, so ING and then IOP, that is intraocular pressure, I2, O2 and P2. So this is the mnemonic. Now let's expand it. I stands for the internal limiting membrane, N is the nerve fiber layer, G ganglion cell layer, the inner plexiform layer, inner nuclear layer, outer plexiform layer, outer nuclear layer. P stands for photoreceptors, that is the layer of rods and cones, and the last P is where the pigment epithelium or the retinal pigment epithelium is there. So these are the layers of retina which can be easily remembered with this mnemonic. Now we should know that in this nuclear layer, which nuclei are present. So in the inner nuclear layer, the nuclei of the bipolar cells are present, and in the outer nuclear layer, the nuclei of the rods and cones are present. Now this inner or outer can be sometimes confusing, which layer is inner, which is outer. So that we'll understand with the help of this diagrammatic representation. Now here I have drawn the eyeball where the orange layer represents the retina, which is expanded here, the retinal layers. The brown layer is the choroid, and the outermost layer of the eyeball is the sclera. Here I have expanded this cut section. So this entire orange one is the retina, then the brown is the choroid, and the black one is the sclera. Now when the light falls on the eye, it will reach the retina. Okay, when it reaches the retina, it passes through all these layers, then it comes at the retinal pigment epithelium. Now because this pigment is present here, the light does not pass further and it is reflected. Okay, it is reflected and it then passes through this nerve fiber layer in this direction. So this is how the light travels. Okay, it will first fall on this nerve fiber layer, ganglion cell layer. It will traverse through the entire layers. It is reflected from the retinal pigment epithelium, and then finally it passes through the nerve fiber layer. Now let's learn how to identify the layers by looking at this. First we need to identify the three nuclei. Okay, the nuclei are the purple color layers. There are three layers with purple color nuclei. So the layer which is in the middle, okay, the middlemost layer, that is the inner nuclear layer. Now we need to remember this. The middle layer of the nuclei is the inner nuclear layer. Now how to know which is the ganglion cell layer and which is the outer nuclear layer? So now next we will be identifying the retinal pigment epithelium. Now we will see a brownish color layer. Now this brown represents pigment. So this is the retinal pigment epithelium. Now retinal pigment epithelium is closer to the choroid. Okay, choroid. So it is outer side, right? Outer side. So the nuclear layer which is above this retinal pigment epithelium will be the outer nuclear layer. The one which is above it, that is the middlemost nuclear layer, is the inner nuclear layer, and the topmost layer is the ganglion cell layer. Now let's see the order of neurons that are present in the optic pathway. Okay, so the first order of neurons is the rods and cones, first order. The second order is the bipolar cells. The third order neurons are the ganglion cells, and the fourth is the lateral geniculate body. Now here I have mentioned some mnemonics to remember because these are also asked previously and are important. So these mnemonic represents where these phenomenon in which layer can be observed. So microaneurysms are seen in inner nuclear layer. Now this can be remembered with the help of the mnemonic MAIN. Microaneurysms in the inner nuclear layer. Hard exudates in the outer plexiform layer. Okay, so hard exudates in the outer plexiform layer. Hopple is the mnemonic. And cotton wool spots. Okay, so N, cotton wool spots is seen in the retinal nerve fiber layer. So here is the summary of all the retinal layers.